Hello, I'm going to show you our next project. You are going to 3D model and then 3D print and paint a ninth grade center teacher sign. Now you can see right here I have a base plate that's already been printed and mounted on all the walls in the ninth grade center. Your job is to design this plate and then put the teacher name here and then reverse it going this way here. And then we'll 3D print it and you'll paint inside the track of each letter with white paint. Since the sign is red and the white paint will contrast and it'll be easily seen in the hallways. Alright, so let's get started. So your first step is when you get in OnShape, you're going to go to the top left corner and hit the Create button. You're going to left click once. You're going to bring your mouse down to Document and left click one more time. You're then going to type teacher sign and then your name. So you're going to type in your name and then you're going to left click on OK and it's going to take you into the build platform and you're going to be able to start designing the sign. Now immediately do not hold the right button down and pan, just go to the top right corner where the cube is, highlight the top surface of the cube and left click once. Now you can easily see the build plane and will not be confused by the other planes. To make your life even easier, bring your mouse over to the list on the left where it says top, front, and right. Highlight the eyeball by just holding your mouse over front and bring your mouse to the eyeball and left click one time. You see that plane just disappeared, and again on the right do it again. You're now going to take away all the other planes, so if I hold the right button down we only see one plane, and let me left click on the top of the cube so we can look straight down. Your first step is to left click on sketch and bring your mouse over to the plane and left click. Now all the steps are written in Google Classroom and all the measurements are written in Google Classroom in order. So keep in mind this is your video support and I have your written support, and also I'm in the room with you helping you and showing you how to do this. You're then going to take your mouse and bring it up to the top left corner where the rectangle shape is. Hit the left arrow by left clicking with your mouse and bring your mouse down to where it says center point rectangle. Your arrow will turn into a plus sign. Bring it over the build plane to the center origin and wait till you see that it is an intersecting line and it is perpendicular, and you're going to left click one time and then you're going to slowly bring your mouse down and to the right and click. Now I continue to mess up. We should have set the unit of measurements to metric, but we're still in English. So take your mouse and go up to the three lines next to OnShape that looks like a hamburger. Left click on those three lines, bring your mouse down to where it says workspace units, left click one time, bring your mouse to where it says inches and change it to millimeters by clicking on the drop down menu and then hit the green checkbox. Now all you have to do is bring your mouse over to the box you drew, right click, and then left click edit sketch 1. That's how you can always get back into a sketch and edit it. Bring your mouse up to the top bar where you see the two arrows that says dimension and left click one time. It should turn gray. Bring your plus sign down to the left line and it should turn yellow or orange. It should turn orange as soon as you touch it. And then left click once it turns orange, and then let go of all the buttons and then slide your mouse over and left click one more time. And the measurement for this side line is 125 millimeters. Hit enter. Then you're going to take your cursor up to the top line until it turns orange. You're going to left click once and then slowly bring your mouse up and left click one more time, and then you're going to type in 220 millimeters and hit enter. We now have the main sketch for the sign that you saw earlier. Then take your mouse up next to the donut with a bite out of it and go to the square with the square where it says extrude and left click. Alright, it now automatically, if I hold the right button down, you don't have to do this, I'm just showing you, by default is 25 millimeters of extrusion. So what we're going to do is change that to 7 and hit enter. It should be 7 millimeters, and hit the check. The reason why it's 7 is the base plate clearance is 7.3 millimeters, so we want a little leeway when this goes into the base plate holder. Now what I'm going to do is make sure I'm looking on the top, and I'm going to left click on sketch and I'm going to left click on the surface. We now need to do or create two 5 millimeter holes on this side of the rectangle. So what you're going to do is use some new tools. You're going to go up to the use tool, which is next to the letter A, and you're going to left click on the use tool. Do not, I repeat, do not click inside this rectangle. Click only the top line. It should only be the thing that turns orange, and just click once with the mouse on the left button. and then you'll see a solid line forms up here. Go down to the bottom one and left click one time, and you see another solid one. Now what you're going to do is go up to your toolbar, and next to the donut with the bite out of it, you're going to left click on the line tool. You're now going to bring your mouse down to the bottom left corner until that endpoint turns orange. And then you're going to left click once and follow the line, and you see that that is a tangent symbol actually telling you that that line or that cursor is on that line. It is tangent to that line. I'm going to left click, and I'm going to immediately type 17.5 and hit enter. And then still in the line tool, but I'm going to left click on that endpoint, and I'm going to draw straight up. Now you see that symbol tells me I am going straight vertically. I left click, oops, doesn't matter. I clicked up here. I'm going to come back down and click here. Doesn't matter. So now I'm going to type in 31.25 and hit enter. Now all I have to do is go up to the circle, which is a center point, and if it's not, you can always come here. And then I'm going to come down to the end point that I just created and left click one time and bring the mouse out and click. Immediately type in 5 and hit enter. Alright, now I'm going to show you a cool trick. Now you could just reverse what I did up here. Draw a line to 17.5, draw a line to 31.25, draw a circle, but I want to show you how you can do it quicker. Go to the line tool, make sure that you left click on it next to the donut. Come down to the bottom of this line and don't click anything, just follow the line with your cursor until you see that. That symbol means you are in the midpoint of the line. That means we are in the dead middle of that line because it's got a dot in the middle of the line. Left click right there, and then bring your mouse out just a little bit and make sure you see the straight horizontal line symbol and left click again. We don't need to dimension anything. Bring your mouse up to where you see the scissors and keep going over to the right to where you see this tool right here that says mirror. You're going to left click on mirror, and what we're going to do is we're going to reflect this onto this side exactly the way it is down here. So I'm going to left click on this line I just created. It should turn yellow, not orange, and it tells you you're going to mirror and reflect this on this side. So if you can imagine taking this rectangle and folding it, and then you would have a hole go through the other side just like that. So now that I click that line, I'm going to come down to the circle and left click, and like magic it pops up. Immediately go to the extrude button in the top left corner with the box in a box next to a donut and click extrude. Now you can see it's adding by default. We just need to click remove, and it's already going through the faceplate, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit the check button. Now I'm going to look back on the top, and now what we need to do is draw the names. So what I'm going to do is left click on sketch, and I'm going to left click on the face of the rectangle. Again, we're going to go to the use tool, and we're going to click on the top line, and then we're going to click on the bottom line. Now all that we have to do is go to our line tool, and we're going to left click in the top endpoint, and then we're going to drag out to the right and make sure we're tangent and we're on that line, and we're just going to click. You're immediately going to type 35 and hit enter. Then you're going to left click on that endpoint and make sure you're drawing a straight line, and then it's tangent down here, and then you're going to left click. Alright, well now I'm going to go back straight up and do that. So now I have my straight line. So now I'm about ready to draw the name of the teacher. So then what I'm going to do now is go up to where the letter A is, and I'm going to left click on the letter A, and then I'm going to left click somewhere in the top left of this new rectangle shape, and then left click and hold and drag out. I'm then going to type the teacher's name that I was given, and then I'm going to hit the check button. Now I have Nemec, but we got a problem. If you go out with the wheel, pull back with the wheel, you can see it's not going to work. So what you're going to do is go to your dimension tool, left click here, left click on this top line once and come up and type in 180 and hit enter. Now this is not going to be easy because this is not the same number for everyone. If this name was much longer, you might need to go down to 170 or 160 or 150. You can always double click in it and write a new number. It's up to you. But you're going to have some leeway with it. Go back up to the tool. I'm going to show you another new tool. Next to the letter A is a point tool. Left click on the point tool and it should turn gray. Bring your mouse over and on this line of the name slowly go down until you see the midpoint symbol and left click. Now what you're going to do is right click escape point. You're now going to left click and hold on that point you created, and now you can drag the name all over the plate. You're going to come down to where it's now parallel, or not parallel, it is matched up on the line with the origin, and go slowly over to the left, and you're good to go. Just have a little bit of room on the left and the right of the name, and then kind of eyeball it and let go. There we go. Now all you got to do is go to extrude and remove. Now it's going to remove too much. It's going to go all the way through it, and we don't want to do that. Come to the depth and say 2 millimeters and hit enter and hit check. Now what you're going to do is rotate the cube over. So now I'm going to this side of the cube, and the circles must be on the right side. You're immediately going to go to sketch, click on the face. You're going to use the use tool again, click only on the top line and only on the bottom line. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your line tool and you're going to do what you did on the other side, left click in the top right endpoint, drag across being tangent, and type in 35 and hit enter. Immediately click on that endpoint, and I don't think I did click on that. Click on the endpoint and draw a straight line down. You see the right angle that's telling you you're doing a straight line, and I'm now tangent on the line, and I left click. You're going to go to your text tool, drag from the top left down, and you're going to type in the teacher's name with a capital letter first. Now we got to do two things that are different. We have to flip it horizontally, and we have to flip it vertically, and then we hit the checkbox. Now, just like last time, I'm going to make it the same dimensions. I left click on the top line, bring it up, type in 180, and by the way, you have to make this the same size as the other side. Go to the endpoint tool, find the midpoint right here on the right and click, right click and escape point, left click and hold on that line until it lines up with the origin. Do not bring it all the way to the origin because you won't be able to move it again. Eyeball where you think it needs to go and let go. Go to extrude, go to remove, and type in 2 millimeters and hit enter, and then hit the checkbox. Congratulations, you have now made your teacher sign. So please share it with me by going to share, and then you're going to put in my email right here, and then what you're going to do is say I can edit, and then hit share, and it'll come to me, and I can work in it and check it out, and then I'll start 3D printing it. I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial, and thank you so much for watching it.